This is Blank's Sports Nutrition. Okay, I was wrong. Just a little bit though. My initial statement was that the thing that separates Blank's Sports Nutrition is that they offer this reusable flask, which cuts down on single-use gel waste. And that's true to an extent. This is one of the unique things that I like about them, but there's so much more to the company. See, the first thing that I bought was the hydrogel mix because I've been using Martin hydrogels as my nutrition, and I wanted an option to kind of replicate that because they sit well in my stomach, and I wanted my stomach to be used to hydrogel by the time it comes to do an Ironman event, because Martin is the official gel for those events. So it just makes sense to train with those. So I bought the hydrogel, and it's tasty. I used it on a ride. It sat well in my stomach. It's great. But I thought maybe I might be a little bit wrong because I saw another ad for Blanks, and I wanted to go back and make sure I was doing this right. Blanks lets you make your own custom mix with specified macros in it. See, this time I went back in and I made my own custom mix. It's got my name on it, and I got to specify everything. So on the website, you can go in and pretty much customize every aspect of the gel. You add your name, you name the mix that you're creating. You can select the flavor. I went with kiwi. You can select the flavor strength. I went with light, that just does better for my stomach. I went with the standard amount of carbs and sodium, which is 50 grams of carbs and 50 milligrams of sodium. But you have a lot of different options here. You can select more or less depending on what works well for you or what specific activity you're going to be doing. You can select the viscosity. I went with a slightly runny just for it to be able to digest a little bit better. I went with a standard dextrose to fructose ratio, which is 2:1, because my stomach is able to handle that. You should leave preservatives if you want it to have good shelf life. And yes, include the scooper. No caffeine, because caffeine doesn't sit well with me. I used it today on a long run and I had no issues with it. The funnel scooper is pretty interesting. It's like a combo of a cup and a funnel. The instructions are pretty straightforward. There's some lead time that you need to give yourself before going out on a run. You add the gel mix with the included funnel scooper, but I do recommend doing this over the sink because you're gonna get mix kind of scattered all over the place, and you just don't want that all over your kitchen. After you get your 2 scoops in the flask, you fill it up to 90% with warm water, and then you shake vigorously. It says vigorously. And the gel fully sets after about 30 to 60 minutes. So you can either prepare this ahead of time to be able to take right at the start of your training, or if your fueling plan calls for you to not take in any carbs until about 30 minutes in, then you're probably set to create it right at the start and then just let it set while you're moving. The texture is a little on the grainy side. I also went with light flavoring, and the flavor was fine. It wasn't overpowering, and my energy level felt steady, no spikes or crashes, and it kept me going. Granted, this was only about an hour and 15-minute run. I did use this on a 3.5-hour ride, and I took 2 of these flasks with me, and that got the job done just fine. I had no GI issues. The ride was smooth. The fueling strategy is dialed in, and I think blanks is going to be probably a staple moving forward. I might even have to get another one of these flasks when I start getting into the 5 and 6 hour training blocks. Overall, I think this service is great. I think it solves a good problem. I don't think this is for beginners. I think you need to be kind of in tune with your own digestion and have experience with what works for you and what doesn't, because you can go into their website and dial in every aspect of this for you. And that's great for me. So that's why I went with 2-to-1 dextrose to fructose, because my stomach is trained at this point to be able to handle that 2-to-1 ratio. So I know that about myself, and I know that I can't handle caffeine. I don't even drink coffee. It just doesn't sit well with my noggin because I'm crazy. I went with a light flavoring because overpowering on flavor tends to mess with my psyche and my stomach. So when you order your first time, you do get a code to get a water bottle and a flask for free on your first order. I went back and ordered a second time, and I tried to get a second flask for free. But they do track your email, so I wasn't able to do that. I could have used a different email, but I'm an honest person. So just remember that, blanks, if you happen to watch this video. But I did order a second flask because I'm gonna start doing some longer training blocks. So it's gonna be useful for me to have multiple of these while I'm out there. I don't wanna carry more than probably 3. But I usually supplement with stuff like Nerds gummy clusters or Uncrustables, just to get some solids in my stomach while I'm out there for longer durations. I think it's a great company. I think they're doing something really cool. I like it. I like what they're doing. It's a gel. Nobody's sitting here giving a Michelin star for gels. It's gonna taste like a gel. It's gonna be funky, but it's better than most that come in prepackaged single-use servings, and it's cost-effective. Okay, I had to do some quick math in my head about the cost-effective statement. When you buy a package of blanks, you get 20 servings, but each serving is the equivalent of 2 gels because it's 50 grams of carbs per little flask, right? So if you go and look on Amazon or just any other retailer for the standard single-use gels, each one of those are 25 grams, usually about 25 to 30 grams of carbs per packet. And those usually come in packs of 12, right? So, and the price range could be anywhere from 15 to 30 bucks. Like I used to use Huma, and those are 30 bucks for a box. And that's of 12. So essentially, you're getting quite a lot of gels, of the equivalent gel packets with blanks. So I think it's pretty cost effective, especially if you want to go for something like Martin, which is like high tier premium. They're really expensive. This is why I looked at this option. So yeah, definitely considerable. So I like what they stand for. I like what they're doing. I like the ability to dial in every macro. So if that's interesting to you and you know what works with your stomach, I think this is a great option, and you should consider blanks. Did I miss anything? I probably did. I'll think of it while I'm editing and then not go back and shoot it. I'm filming stuff for a video that no one will watch.